All right, so
Actually, I'll
restricted.
just record on my own OBS.
All right,
Yeah, I'm
restricted
gonna
code
record
versus
of it.
Isshiki. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's restricted code, right?
Oh no, just make your
Yeah.
positions clear for the recording. All right, so
Yeah, it's pretty
the
much
debate
like
is Code versus Isshiki, and it's over who would win in a fight between the two.
Yeah.
it's restricted
Okay, Spencer.
code, by the way.
Like limited code, of
And
course.
Yeah.
code with his limiters versus Isshiki. Who will
Yeah.
win in a fight between the two? Spencer, you have Code.
Yeah.
Bullet, you have Isshiki.
Yeah.
I would hope he does.
Okay.
All right. Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
I mean, you can start. Go ahead.
Because I think it's pretty obvious that like Isshiki backscaling to code just doesn't happen, while there's like arguments for code over Isshiki instead.
All right. Okay. Do you want to like
Alright.
present like argument?
Yeah. So here is like keep in mind I don't fuck with you. Shut up. Here is like what was shown in the newest SJ for this new week. Here's the translation. It goes over Damon in the bottom, but the top is just saying an even greater enemy is looming over Boruto and the rest as they strive for justice. Speaking of like code.
Wait, how do you know they're referring to code here? Couldn't it just
Because
be other like Android or whatever, like Ada? Like
Ada says that she's not a combatant, right? So she wouldn't be a
No, but
greater
still-
enemy by any means.
she still has like the hacks to take them down, right? Though.
To take them down, how so?
I mean, like, isn't the whole hacks like you kind of like look at her and then like you fall in love with her or something?
These two people are both immune to her hacks.
Oh, is this like in reference to like Boruto and Kawaki?
Yeah.
So you're saying this is in reference to code? I mean, like,
It's
is
not.
it
It's
referring to
definitely
like
not in
the-
reference to Damon because we covered Damon at the bottom. It's not in reference to Ada because her hacks don't work on them. So who was the last standing antagonist for this new arc? Code. So it's saying Code
like-
is a greater enemy than the previous antagonist they were up against.
is it in comparison to the previous one? It says an even greater enemy.
Well, yeah, an
And
even greater would mean that there must be something below it. Just like how you can't have nothing without having something, right?
And wait, where's the kanji for this? Over here, I'm assuming, right? Wait, who? Okay, wait, this is translated by blah blah blah.
Text above
Well, I
quality,
would
so
just
it would be the text under Boruto, most likely.
Yeah, well, okay, I would just argue.
Or it's the text above both of them. What were you saying?
So yeah, I would just argue that like it's either like exaggerated or is like contradicted by like
By what?
my scale. Well, I'll present my scaling. Well, like
So do you have,
you must
before
know about the-
you gave two different things, right? It's either exaggerated or contradicted. Do you have an argument for why it's exaggerated as of right now?
why it's exaggerated?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like where is this from, by the way? Like this is from the magazine, right? Is it
Yeah,
the
this is from like SJ. Of
SJ,
this week, hyping up next week's chapter.
Yeah. Well, who writes it? Do you know who writes it?
No, but it would be officially published material in regards to the source.
Well, why would it be officially published? Only just using like material from the author?
You know that SJ has the rights to like Boruto, Naruto, right?
I mean, like just
Viz,
because like, you have
Viz and
rights doesn't-
Shonen Jump own Naruto and Boruto.
I mean, if it's an advertisement, right? We don't know who writes it, like, right? Like anyone could. It's like you get those extra texts like below the like original run of like the manga, like that can be edited by like officials, like the editor, etc. But that doesn't mean like it's like by the actual author for the actual like story, or like it holds any relevance to the story.
So, are you trying to argue that it's non-canon? Is that your primary argument right now?
I'm trying to say, well, like there's no evidence that it kind of is canon, right? Because it's like we don't know who wrote it, and like it's an advertisement by like
Us not knowing who
being-
write it, I don't think dictates whether it's canon or not. What dictates whether or not it's canon is if it's officially published material that is supposed to coincide with the source story.
Well, I mean, if that's stated by the author, like sure, but I don't think it
If
is.
what's stated by the author, my argument, I don't need
No,
it to
not,
be.
not your argument. This material here, like if these like extra like well additional material or promotional material is stated to be like canon or whatever by the author, then sure, I would agree.
Why is
I don't-
that? Why is that the burden of proof to prove something's canon? I just
Well, what do you
asserted.
consider canon, right? Canon, I would just consider canon
I
like
literally just told you
anything
what I
like
consider canon.
so anything like because there is like an official like timeline or whatever, but that's like kind of like obviously there needs to be a collaboration between the actual like author and
This. You're just going back to it needs the author's sign off. I'm asking you why that is a prerequisite to something being canon.
well, like for example, it depends on like the
In
verse,
fact,
right? Like
in
canon
fact,
can work differently, but like for Naruto, we know there's like an official like timeline, right? Like an established like
we know
timeline.
that
And, like,
there's
there's a
we
lot of
know that there
material,
is
right?
a there
But there's a lot
we
of like
wait.
supplementary material that's
I
like
want to
considered
I
like
want to attack
non-canon.
that. I want to attack that, please, Bullet.
Oh, okay,
Yes,
sure,
we know that there is a like canon storyline, right? I hope
sure.
you're not talking about those timelines that include the novels because they're like contradictory within themselves. Um,
They can, but like if the author states like otherwise, and like it's really hard to kind of like.
which
Well, there are
author?
ways to kind of get around it, but obviously, like, there's no point getting
Do
into
you
it
want to
now.
go into the time? Okay, you don't.
The timeline doesn't matter. Essentially, what I'm
Okay.
trying to say is like we're just talking about like what's considered canon, and I would say obviously like you need something like established like canon by the actual like author, right?
But the author doesn't establish what is canon. The owner of the property does.
Is that the case?
Yeah.
When was that
Okay.
established?
So if we were to let's say Kishimoto rapes somebody, right? SJ just scraps him from the project, and they can do whatever the fuck they want because they own the Naruto franchise. They get to say this is canon to Naruto. This is not canon to Naruto. They have that final say. Just like they
Do
can
they-
push, just like
Wait,
they
are
can
you
push
saying-
Kishimoto or Kodachi, right, to write whatever the fuck they want because they own the property.
Doesn't like Kishimoto have like all rights to like Naruto and Boruto?
Ownership?
And then like
No.
so they have like all of the rights to it. Is that what you're trying to say?
As
'Cause I
the
thought it was,
publishing,
like,
as the
I
publishing
thought there was
company,
like not a collaboration. I thought it was like there was like obviously there's like partial like ownership between them, right? That's what I assumed it was. Is it not like
at
does
the end of
Kishimoto
the
have, like,
day,
partial,
as
like-
a publishing company, they own the rights to the serialization of Naruto and Boruto and all
Yeah.
affiliated material. So whatever they want to be published is published, and what is published under the storyline is what we consider canon. So yes, at the end of the day, they get the final say on what is or isn't canon. Kishimoto doesn't. While Kishimoto does get to say, "Hey, I don't really fuck with that," right? Could we please change that? They can respect his wishes or they can decline his wishes.
Well, I get what you're saying. I suppose that yeah, I'm fine with that. I mean, I would probably use this kind of stuff anyway, so it would be a bit ratty of me to argue otherwise. But yeah, like I was saying, I think it's contradicted anyway.
Okay, by what?
That's fine. So are you aware of? You must be aware of like the statement that like Code had his limiters put on him to like restrict him. So obviously he wasn't like a threat to like Jigen. Right. Would you agree
Let's like get into it. Basically, the restrictors were put on, but there's like
Yeah.
statements that imply at the same time that he may still be above, but he's only allowed to be above due to the fact that he has this like overwhelming passion in love for Isshiki.
Yeah, so he was like in love with him or had this passion, so he allowed himself to have his limiters put on him, right?
Yeah, nobody could have put limiters on him otherwise, but I don't think that matters, right? Because what it's saying
Well,
is
it does.
we need. Wait, I'll explain as to why. They basically say we need Code to have limiters, so he's not a threat to Jigen's leadership ability, right?
Yeah.
If he is wholly committed to Jigen's end goal, he is in no way a threat to Jigen's leadership. He would be the bodyguard. He would be the strongman.
No, but like the whole idea was like Jigen still didn't want him to have this power, right? Essentially, it's like he kind of like he undermined him. I think that's what's stated. Like obviously Jigen doesn't like the fact that there's somebody walking around who's like stronger than him.
Let's get the actual statement. I forget.
Yeah, you can get the actual scans. Like I might be misremembering.
Code
it,
isn't like the others. He's
Got it,
special.
Should I send them over? Let me see if I have them.
Okay,
Did you find them?
I found it. It's chapter 56.
Okay, yeah,
It's chapter 56, 30, and 31. I'm just gonna send you the whole spread so that there's no like talk of whether or not it was like whether or not I'm taking shit out of context. I'm gonna send the spreads following as well. Okay, so what we're talking about is, it's the exact opposite in Code's case.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm cold, so I'm like stuttering. He had put limiters. He's had limiters put in to check his formidable strength in order to avoid undermining of Jigen's position as leader. So, at what level of strength does Code undermine Jigen's position?
Well, it says the exact
relative to Jigen, of course.
He had his limiters put in to check his formidable strength in order to avoid undermining Jigen's position as leader. I would assume, like, if he was more powerful than him, that would undermine his position, right? So it would have to be like below his level.
Which like, Jigen as well?
Like below his level.
There are two questions, right? It would be
if he was above him, right? Then obviously that would clearly like not threaten him, but then it would make him feel like uneasy.
It could make him feel uneasy without undermining his position, right? If he has this strong ass enforcer,
if he was above him, I don't think he would be comfortable, right? Because then he would be stronger than him, and that defeats.
Why does that completely undermine his position as leader?
Because it literally says like it's in reference to his formidable strength, right?
Yes. Well, I mean, like, the limiters obviously. It's literally stated the limiters put his strength in a check. Yes.
Clearly,
wait.
The main factor here.
Can I please?
Yeah.
So basically, what my counter argument is, you're saying, well, he has to be either equal or under Jigen, and I'm saying that doesn't have to be the case because we don't know at what point relative to Jigen his strength undermines Jigen's position as leader. We don't know that.
No, but I've given you like a bare minimum, right? I'd say if he was like above him, right, then that would obviously like fucking that would undermine his position clearly because he's like there's somebody walking around who's like just as strong as him.
That's like wholly circular. And I'm gonna explain as to why. You're saying if he's stronger, it undermines his position because someone's stronger. Well, unless his position as leader is based position as leader is based wholly off of his strength, which we don't know to be the case. His limiters, you think it is?
I think it might be, right? Because like essentially, like he promised them all like wishes or whatever, right? But then, like at the same time, like they're all kind of like I think he stated that they don't work together and they have like distaste, like they have like a distaste for each other, right? So they clearly like
I agree.
Right? So, like obviously, like Jigen wouldn't really be comfortable around these kind of people, considering it's not like he's friendly with them. It's not like they're family or anything. So that's probably why he was a little bit like concerned with like code strength.
Let's review the inners, right? And let's review their wishes and their strength. So Delta is a non-factor. Amato can deactivate Delta at any point in time. Amato is a non-combatant, so he's a non-factor as well, right?
Is it stated that he's a non-combatant? Because I'm pretty sure, isn't it stated like every inner is like a monster or some shit?
You know, Amato doesn't officially have a number as an inner, right?
No, but he's still considered an inner, right?
I actually don't know that to be the case.
Like, is it not? Is he not like considered like even? Yeah, I don't think you necessarily need a number, right? Like, he is like one of the inners, right?
Why? Like, why? They say he's part of Kara, like, but I don't.
Case.
I think even do Ada and Damon have numbers? Possibly not.
Yeah, they might not. That's why, like, I was wondering. Let me search up. Yeah, it says he's like an inner member. Wait, what chapter is that? Mondo joined Kara and was granted the rank of inner.
Ada and Damon aren't inners? I didn't think so.
Yeah, they're not, but I'm pretty sure like Amado is though.
Because even if you tried to like stretch Ada's markings under her eyes to say 2, Boro is already 2.
And like Boro chapter 45.
And Damon doesn't have anything.
Oh no, I'm not talking about like him.
I was just speaking in general. But you were talking about how they have a distaste for each other. Yes. certain ones have distaste for each other. Code and Boro seem to be fond of each other.
Code and Boro, I mean, like, that's fine, but like Boro, we know he was like secretly like plotting against Jigen. He was like saving some of those like other like.
We don't know if he was. We don't know if he was plotting against Jigen or if he just had them as like a contingency plan.
He was like storing them away, right? And he knew that they were stronger than like Jigen himself. So like clearly, it's not like he's friends with like Jigen or anything. So obviously, like remember it was like going around that there's like a spy within the inners and stuff. So everybody was like. Well, especially like Jigen himself had like distrust, like.
Well, yeah, but we knew the spy was Koji, and Jigen. Everyone distrusted Koji, so it seems.
Like everybody was kind of like questioning like Code as well, right? Remember that? So like.
No, I don't remember that ever. Paz, do you want to keep spamming the chat?
Yeah, I'm trying to get it to where like only my message is on like the screen.
Okay, cool.
Let me see.
You're a fucking bitch, bro. You lost. Bullet, you won. You don't have to keep debating. You lost with Spencer.
Dude. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure that was stated. Let me see if I can find it. Do you not remember it? It was like when everybody was like accusing each other of like fucking being the spy and shit.
I literally don't.
I think you're talking about chapter 16 or some shit.
Spinner touches little boys.
I'm recording, sir.
Oh, I know. That's why I said it.
Y'all are stupid though. Oh my god.
Prove that. What the fuck?
Shut up, Bubbles.
Okay, drop claim.
What chapter did you say it was? Like 16?
Yeah, you're talking about when they're all like talking after the ship or the blimp crashed?
Yeah, I think so. Like, when they know there's like a spy within the group or whatever, and they kind of like accusing.
Yeah, it's like chapter 16. It's either 16 or 19.
Oh, did I miss Spencer versus Bullet?
No, we're still going.
No.
Halfway or like whatever.
Okay.
Fuck.
No Luck is just like at a water park, bro.
I am. Nice way to cool off. Speaking
Gotta-
of water parks, 6. Why is it that you think Gojo would beat Sukuna? Like, it's just silly.
Oh my
How is that
god.
speaking
Be
of
quiet.
water park?
Be quiet, be quiet, be quiet.
Speaking of water parks, why is Spinner 300 pounds?
I don't think Sukuna is that strong.
I mean, listen, Sukuna can be hurt by like Jogo, who's like less durable than Hanami, and Hanami can be hurt by Yuji and Toto. So you know.
I mean,
Anyway.
hurt by like Gojo at all?
No,
I don't think I
Sukuna says like
Wild.
I
maximum.
don't think I can
meteor
find the
spread.
statement, dude. But like, I don't think it matters anyway.
Oh,
Like I
sorry.
said, there's still like a lot of distrust between them anyway. Like,
Yeah, there's a bit, but I don't.
even if there
I
was,
still
like, a
don't
possibility,
understand.
I don't think.
I still don't understand how this justifies what you're trying to say, which is
Yeah.
Boro, like even Boro housing this shit. Like, why is it that any amount of strength above Jigen undermines his position of leader?
Well, isn't it simple? If like they're referring to power, then it's like he thinks he can be like overthrown or beat or whatever. So since like they are literally
Okay,
referring to power, probably
Yes,
relate.
they are referring to power, but they also say, yeah, it was cool that Code was this way because this nigga was just so fucking devoted, it didn't matter. Like,
But like, even
yes,
like
they
even if he
talk
was
about
right.
Code's power. They talk about like how he's so strong and he had to put limiters to check his strength. And then they say in order to avoid undermining position,
Why put limiters on him then? Like, what was the point of putting limiters on him in the first place? He's so
maybe it's
devoted.
at 3 times the strength of Jigen that we finally come to like this point where Jigen's position as leader is just undefensible.
No, but then, like, you're kind of referring to, like, his devotion being, like, a major factor, right? Like, if he was devoted to him, like, it doesn't even matter if he was, like, 1,000 times stronger, like, right? If he was devoted, then you just wouldn't need it. That kind of, like, leads me to believe that this whole, being, like, faithful to him and, all this stuff doesn't really matter. Since if it did, he just wouldn't have been restricted in the first place. I don't think that even is a factor, if I'm being honest.
I just gave you an a possibility and interpretation, right? The idea that it could be at X amount times the strength of Jigen that he is undermined. And if that's the case, Code can just be under that.
Okay, why
amount.
would that be? Because I think in my interpretation, at least I'm kind of basing it off like the whole like power and strength aspect, right? And I kind of gave my reasoning to why like it wouldn't make sense. The whole like devotion stuff isn't like really a great argument, since like then it just wouldn't be a factor, right?
I'm not using devotion to say that, okay, Code can still be stronger. I'm saying that there's no evidence to your claim, which is that Code has to be equal to or lesser than Jigen for his position of leader to stand.
No, but
because whenever I asked you why his position of leader is based on strength exclusively, right? We just kind of got into, oh, they distrust each other, so it's probably the case. And then we go into different pieces of distrust.
Stuff being leaked, right? So obviously, like Jigen was uneasy, right? Since there was a lot of shit being leaked.
He was uneasy. Okay.
Yeah, it's not like he trusted any of them regardless anyway. Like he's never shown like that he gives a shit about Code or like he trusts Code.
That,
right?
sir, was an argument from ignorance.
Is it? Like, no, I'm just saying like
you literally said he doesn't trust Code because we've never seen him trust Code. That's an argument from ignorance.
I mean, like, that's fine. Like, you can drop that, but essentially what I'm getting at, like, here, right, is that, like, I think my interpretation makes more sense because, like, obviously I brought up, like, the whole, like, strength, like, aspect because, like, they are referring to strength, they say, like, right there. And then, like, secondly, like, I don't think the devotion thing is, like, a factor at all. Since, like, even if it was, like, a factor, right, if it was, like, somebody, like, super devoted to you, like, regardless of what you do, then you just wouldn't, like, limit them in the first place. So I think my interpretation makes more sense.
Okay.
Because I think what you're trying to do is you're trying to say your interpretation's like
concluding on this point then?
Yeah, you can, but because I think you're trying to say your interpretation's equal to mine, but I think I've given a better basis. But yeah, we can leave this to judgment if you want, and then move on.
We can just wrap up this point and then go.
That's fine.
I will say, before we wrap up the point, I do want to point out, because this may bite you in the fucking neck, that you never went over which Jigen it is that he has to be weaker than. It could be like partial transformation Jigen. I think it's in your best interest to
wait. If it was like partial transformation Jigen, wouldn't that help my point? Because that's like an even weaker Jigen, and Isshiki is like way above that. Surely it would have to be like the strongest version of Jigen, like for your argument to work.
Do I go over Karma 3 over Isshiki?
What?
Okay. Yeah. let me do it. So there's actually arguments to be made for Karma 3 Jigen over Isshiki. You're aware of that, right?
There's an argument that Karma 3 Jigen is weaker than Code? What?
Oh, that he's stronger than Isshiki.
That he's stronger than Isshiki?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. You can provide that if you want.
You're aware that there's like a stated time limit for Isshiki and Jigen's body. Like Ishiki's power will crumble Jigen's body in like, I think it's 7 days or something.
Wait, so yeah, like I get the whole idea he was like dying or whatever, right? Like if Isshiki like leaves Jigen or whatever, like there's like a certain amount of time before he dies. I'm aware of that. Yeah.
Yeah, but then during the Koji fight, it stated that like he can't.
Wait, hold on. Can y'all like conclude that last point?
Okay, yeah. That sub point.
Yeah. Do you want a conclusion?
Yeah, let's conclude that sub point, and then this like ties into it, and we can conclude that and conclude the whole point. Basically, Bullet has a burden of proof to affirm that the position of leader is based solely on strength in order for his argument to function. I don't think he ever sufficiently did that. And then I give a counter interpretation, his interpretation of, okay, well, Jigen or Code must be equal to or lesser than Jigen for his position of leader to be upheld. I ask him why many, many times, and I feel like he just dodges the question or reduces to circularity of, oh, if there's someone stronger than the position of leader is undermined because someone's stronger than him, right? I called him out for this, and I don't think we saw a significant argument out of Bullet for why this must be the case. So I think I won that point pretty handily, where it could just be, all right, well, he can just have a strong enforcer that's like 7 times his strength or whatever, and still not undermine him. So those are the reasons why I believe I won that point, and why we would get to the situation where Code doesn't have to be weaker than any Jigen we've seen. Bullet,
Okay, can I?
yeah, you can conclude now.
Okay, so like, yeah, obviously, like I brought up the whole idea that like he had these Code had these limiters placed on him to kind of make sure he didn't undermine Jigen's position as a leader, right? But you know, as we are reading it, like it literally says that these limiters weaken his formidable strength. So it's in reference to like strength directly. But then obviously Spencer brought up the possibility. Well, we know that he was like super faithless, right? Faithful, right, to like Jigen, right? So it might have been like a combination of that alongside the power aspect. And then he asked me to like quantify, like, you know, well, where would it like cut off, right? Where would like he be undermining Jigen's position as leader? But then like I brought the whole idea that like all of these like Kara members, right, especially like the inners, don't trust each other, since obviously there's a whole like spy stuff going on, right? And it's kind of like established that they don't like work together, right? And he like obviously like agreed to that, right? And then like I brought up the idea that like if he was really this like devoted, faithful like person to like Jigen, right? Jigen wouldn't have put these limiters on, right? So I don't even think that's like an aspect at all. Then I went back to my point, right, saying that my interpretation is like more like I think more based, right? Well, like, it's like based with that more like fucking like evidence and stuff, right? And I think it makes more sense than like his interpretation, right? I think like his interpretation is like a lot weaker, since, you know, if we have like 2 different like interpretation, right, it becomes like whoever's like obviously making the claim, right, it becomes their burden of proof to kind of like justify why their interpretation is more valid. And I think I provided like sufficient evidence to do that, right? And then obviously he brought up the idea that like well, like what you didn't like say what version of like Jigen it was or whatever, but like even if it was like I feel like he brought up like the weakest version of Jigen then, right? Even if he did that, then it wouldn't really help his argument, right? Since like if he was like referring to base Jigen here, obviously then like and my argument went through, then that would kind of imply then base Jigen is beyond him, right? So even if you assume it's like the strongest version of Jigen, not Isshiki, by the way, right? Because I think Isshiki is stronger, but we'll get onto that later, right? Of Jigen, I think my scaling will still work, as you'll see like later on as this debate continues. And yeah, that's how I'm gonna choose to conclude that portion.
Okay. So you're aware that it's like stated during the Koji. We're going back onto this, back onto the shit. You're aware it's stated during the Koji fight, like before Koji's reached Sage mode, the Jigen's body has reached its limit, and it won't last much longer, and that's why he has to transform when he does.
Wait, Jigen's body has reached its limit, and it won't last
That's
longer.
a direct quote. I posted it.
I'm reaching the. Wait, why is this relevant?
Bubbles, mute your mic, nigga.
Oh, wait, you can hear me? Shit.
Yes. I wish Piano would do that. Why is it relevant? Yeah. I'm gonna go into that.
Body won't last much longer.
Let me try and find where he gives the time limit in the fight, including Kawaki. And I want to find it before Baryon mode. Actually, after Baryon mode would be fucking fine. Because it's still higher.
Wait, where are you going with this?
I'm saying that the vessel of Jigen's body, right?
Yeah.
Is able to withstand this power. Or able to withstand the power he's outputting in Karma 3 with the Jubi for a lesser amount of time than Isshiki's full power. Which would imply that Isshiki is weaker than Karma 3 Jigen.
Wait, he's weaker because he's more drained? Is that what you're arguing?
No, he's weaker because the body can withstand the power for longer.
Because Yeah, you can say that's like that's not necessarily like in relation to like his stats, right? There might just be like a stamina thing, if that makes sense, right?
He's no. They go into chakra as well. So they talk about stamina separately. He's
So
literally
are
saying
you arguing like Isshiki is like less durable than this version?
no.
Is
Literally,
that what
he
you-
just has a lesser lifespan.
Yeah, I know he has a less
due to
lifespan, but why does
due
that
to
mean
the
you're weak?
power. No.
I mean,
Okay, yeah. I'm trying to get into that. He has a lesser lifespan due to the power being greater and overwhelming the body. Because you know that,
he's
like
overwhelming
like
the
the
body.
cracks on the stomach of Jigen
Yeah.
are like the power that he's like the power he can't contain it, right?
Yeah, because that's his vessel, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then it's the same body. He just transforms whenever he goes Isshiki, right? And yet he still has 20 hours left.
No, but like it doesn't matter, right? Because it's literally established by like several people that like the Isshiki is like stronger than Jigen, right? Like I'm pretty sure it's like stated by like Amado, like Boruto, like a few people. Like even Kashin Koji, I think states like he's on like a whole different like level or some shit, right? So like if we're talking
let's
about
go
like
to that,
power
then.
scaling, then
I don't.
I don't even think what you're saying relates to like power scaling inherently, since I think these statements are like they're like if we're talking about like direct power scaling, they would be more valid, right? Like there's literally like a statement, right,
Wait, why?
where like Amado says that like oh if we let like Isshiki like come out or whatever, right, or like if like he ever like fucking returns, then like it's that the end of the world and like nobody will be
Maybe
able to stop
that
shit,
that
right?
can be applied to like greater battle IQ and greater hacks.
No,
That doesn't
but
have
it's
to
in
be.
it's in
Wait,
reference to power,
what?
like.
Why?
Do you want me to
Why?
send the scan?
Yes, please, I do.
Okay, I'll send you the scan. Pretty sure it is in reference to like actual power. Let me see if I can find it. I'll show you. Okay, I'm gonna send it in a minute. Hold it. In a second.
Wait, fuck. Is there still Kurama chakra in that fucking arm of Kawaki's? If so, that's stupid.
Yeah. But by the way, look, that's the statement. It's like if obviously we must not let him be reborn, blah blah blah. Oh wait, but is that in reference to Kawaki? Wait.
Ishiki's power is immense if he were to return in full form. Yeah, well,
that's it.
Jigen
Ishiki's power is
wouldn't
immense.
be him returning in full form. Because Jigen's body can't handle the power.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying Ishiki's stronger than Jigen. I'm using like Isshiki in this fight, not Jigen. The whole point is like Ishiki's stronger than Jigen, right?
And this is the only Isshiki we've seen. Are you using like Kaguya fight Isshiki?
No, like he's literally saying like you won't be able to beat fucking Isshiki. That's the whole idea, right? In this situation.
No luck, please mute. Alright, yeah, he's saying in full form, which cannot happen in Jigen's body. That's the whole point why he needs Kawaki.
Okay, like even if he was like reborn as Kawaki, whatever, like wasn't he just hiding in his air or some shit? Like, and then just using like, the vessel that way?
Originally, yes. We don't know if that continues to be the case. Let me go check. That's to my knowledge. Let's go fact check that.
Wasn't it like he escaped like fucking the whole idea was he escaped Jigen's fucking body because he was being like burnt?
That he like jumps out of Jigen's body? Because Jigen's being burnt? No.
Like, look, if they were, like,
he
one,
transforms. He transforms.
Dude, if they were like one
from...
entity,
Huh?
is it like stated that he transformed? Because like isn't it like he's getting like burnt and like destroyed or whatever, and then like
yes, it's stated he transformed because if he had just popped out of Jigen's ear, one, he wouldn't have legs. Two, Kawaki's karma wouldn't have disappeared. And he wouldn't have been able to supplant. He wouldn't have been able to supplant karma in the first place because he wouldn't have died. He's not still in Jigen's ear.
I mean, like
he was in Jigen's ear until he had enough power to supplant karma.
That might be a little bit ambiguous. So, like,
no,
probably like I wouldn't use that then per se. Like, there's probably a better statement anyway. Like, I think isn't there like a statement from like No, I think this might be in reference to what I'm saying because like the way like Boruto understood it was like, oh, Ishiki's like way stronger than like Jigen. He was like, if you can't even beat like Jigen or whatever, right? Then there's like no way you'll be able to beat like Isshiki. Wasn't that stated?
He was like confused on how they think they're gonna beat Isshiki if they couldn't beat Jigen. Yes.
Yeah, because he's like he's like a stronger opponent, right? He was like, if you couldn't even beat him, then like how do you think you're gonna beat like beat a stronger opponent? My bad. I don't know why I can't speak.
Oh my god, my cat just like brushed against my balls. That was weird.
Fuck.
Set the programmer in VC.
Ooh, Speeder, can I do that?
You wanna see this statement?
Yeah.
I mean, let me see if I can find it.
It's like chapter 48 or some shit.
48.
Maybe 49.
I think I can find it.
I'm looking through 48, but it's just weird to like. The chapter is set up in a really weird way. It's like reminiscent of War Arc chapters where it's just hard cut for a few pages, hard cut back, hard cut. Okay. Okay, this looks
Yeah, look,
good.
I've got the colored version, right? Like, is that fine?
Yeah, it should be as long as the text is the same. If you can just give me the page, I can pull it off of Viz.
I can't remember the page, but I have like the fucking scan. It's weird because it's like colored. But yeah, right there.
Weren't you listing the enemy as a complete monster?
That's 49.
Is it?
Is it 49? Oh, okay, cool. I mean, like, you can get up if you want, but like right there it says, how do you plan to win against like an even stronger guy, right? So like that's what he understood
Again,
from like
this
the
could
other
be-
statement. Meaning my interpretation makes more sense since, you know, that's the way he understood it too.
Okay,
Right.
do you think like Boruto's understanding of things is infallible? No, obviously you don't.
Well, I'm saying this kind of gives validity to my kind of like interpretation of what happened back there, right? It's like it's not like Boruto's like, sorry, it's not like Naruto's like correcting him or like saying he's wrong. Like nobody's like denying what he's saying here. Like it's not like Naruto understands that this guy is stronger, but he's like he doesn't have a choice, right? That's why Sasuke says, "Oh, the only way we can beat this guy is if we like stall him out," right? Whereas
he's
like,
also
before, he
planning
wasn't
on
saying
using Borushiki, which is a factor that they didn't have in the previous fight.
that. I'll show you what I mean. Like Sasuke literally says like we can't like physically contend with this guy. Like the only way to like fucking win.
They couldn't physically contend with Karma 3 Jigen either.
That wasn't really like the case. Like he wasn't saying this before. He's saying like against like an opponent like this, right? Then like the only way we can beat him is with lifespan stuff. So I think like all of these statements like together.
Yeah,
kind of, like,
because they couldn't beat Karma 3
give, like,
Jigen
validity to
either.
my interpretation. Sorry, what?
Even if let's say Isshiki is marginally weaker than Karma 3 Jigen, right? We're doing an internal critique, right? I'm using your statements and seeing if they follow under my line of reasoning. We're gonna try that real quick. So,
If you want.
statement of they cannot beat him but by outlasting him, right? They couldn't physically defeat Karma 3 Jigen either. Statement goes both ways. Give me another one.
Wait. Sorry, what one did you say? What was the last one you said? I wasn't listening.
They can't physically defeat him. They need to outlast him.
Yeah.
They,
So
they,
wait, what
could,
was the refutation to that?
they couldn't
Well, if
physically
you're
defeat
trying
Karma
to
3
do one-
Jigen either.
What?
They couldn't physically defeat Karma 3 Jigen either.
I mean, like this wasn't stated prior, like anyway, right?
What?
Like,
They
like,
couldn't
against
defeat
them, like-
Jigen?
Okay, so like against like Jigen, like they like what's his name? Kashin Koji was like they have like a sliver of a chance or whatever. Like whereas in this fight, they have like no chance or whatever, right? It's like the only way they're gonna win is like if they outlast him. That was like the whole game plan.
Where is it stated they have a sliver of a chance against Karma 3 Jigen?
I think I'll send you the statement. I think Kashin Koji says it. Let me see if I can find it. Oh yeah, there you go. He's like, if Naruto and Sasuke work together, then like maybe it's like it's not completely impossible. I think he states something like that. I think this is the statement.
Did Naruto defeat Jigen? No, there's not even a sliver of chance of that. And let's say Sasuke happened to show up, they still have minimal chances of winning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
minimal chance.
If they had just if they had just tried to outlast him, right, they would have a minimal chance of winning. Because the power was so much lesser, or the lifespan was so much lesser that it would have been easier to win against Karma 3 Jigen than it would have been against Isshiki. Because he has a longer lifespan that they have to outlast.
He has a short lifespan when he's Isshiki, right?
No,
like
he has a shorter lifespan when he's Jigen. That's what this whole point is about.
Is it? Like, didn't he only have like 7 like days or something? And you said
Yes.
he only had like a few hours.
He literally says, damn, I gotta transform right fucking now. I don't have any more time as fucking Jigen. There's the statement.
Well, yeah,
Jigen's body has reached its limit. It won't last much longer.
Limit, but that might not be in reference to the, what do you call it, the actual like lifespan. That could be just be in reference to his like durability or his like physical body like breaking apart. Since we know he's being burnt, right? And we know that his chakras are depleted as well. Well, not depleted, but we know it's like
that's a separate. Let's go back into that. I thought we had covered that, but we can go back into it. Give me a second.
If you want.
This is.
I didn't get that point you brought up earlier. I was like really fucking confused.
Sorry.
Like I think I'm trying to. Now I get what you're saying, but like what I said here, right? I don't think it's in reference to like his lifespan. Well, I don't think there's that much proof. It is like it could be anything pretty much, right? Like his body's reached his fucking limit. Like he's literally getting burnt right now, so it could just be like a durability thing.
No, because he had shrunken all the flames off of him, and then
He's still getting burnt, right?
wait, no,
Like,
he's
see
literally
flames on
not.
him.
He's literally not. Let me show you. It's smoke. There was the flames, and then there's smoke.
Okay, it could just be chakra as well, right? Because it takes like chakra to like do
But
that.
there's
It
a separate statement in reference to chakra. What it's talking about
Oh,
is
I see what you mean. Yeah.
what it's talking about is like the gem on his stomach cracking, right? Which also
Is that like a
happened.
lifespan thing?
Well,
that might not
it's
be
like
a
a power
lifespan
thing. It's like he can't hold the power that he's using.
Okay,
We
yeah,
saw
but
it-
that might be
we
completely
saw it
different to the whole
earlier.
lifespan stuff, right?
Huh?
That could be different to the lifespan thing, though.
No, because we know that the
That doesn't need to be the
lifespan.
same.
We know that the lifespan is due to the power being too strong for him as well.
Isn't the lifespan thing like he can't last outside of like Jigen's body or some shit?
No, he's still in Jigen's body. We went over this.
Is it like
Yes.
where's that stated?
He
It's
supplanted
like it's
Karma.
not like he has like this crack. Like he doesn't have that like orb anymore.
Are you
once
talking
he's,
about when he
like,
transforms into Isshiki?
yeah, once he's like Isshiki, right? Like what I assumed from that was like he was dying.
Here it is. Here
That's
it
why
is.
he
Here it
needed
is.
like
Here it
Jigen's
is.
body, but like now he doesn't have Jigen's body. He's fucking dying.
No, it's because Jigen's body can't
let me
keep up
see
with the
what he's saying.
power, which is why he wasn't an adequate like Karma, right?
I'm at my limit too.
Here's Isshiki speaking in Jigen's body. God, I'm at my limit too. Jigen's body can't keep pace with the power. I really do need Kawaki. This vessel's done for. This is during Naruto and Sasuke. So whenever he outputs too much power, his body can't keep up with it, and it just fucking starts breaking down.
No, I can see like the cracks and stuff, right? But that doesn't need to be like a stat thing, right? That just means like, okay, his body just can't like handle the actual thing, so it might just be like a durability thing, right? Or it might just be like
Is the
orb
gem
kind of,
is
like,
the gem a
stabilizing.
part of Jigen's physical body?
It may be like that's why he's cracking. Like I don't know. Like that thing might be stabilizing him. We don't really know what the fuck it is. But as like Isshiki, he doesn't have that.
I'm sorry, I'm so confused with what you're arguing now. Could you give me like a succinct version? Just like a really straightforward version of what you're trying to say?
Okay, so we can get back to where's this statement? Like, where did it go? It's like up here, right? When you brought up the whole like, oh, I need to fucking like transform or whatever, and like he's like my chakra's depleted, but he's like my body's like burning or whatever.
It's not. We already went over whether or not it's burning, and it's not.
Is it? How? Wait, how do we know it's not burning him? By the way,
Okay, let me.
since like, we
post
know
it.
he's minimizing
Let
it,
me
but it's
post it
still
in
on him.
order.
Like we can literally, can't we see it like on his body? Like perhaps he's not even doing it at like a fast enough pace, right?
Because whenever he transforms, it's not, to my knowledge, it's not the like non-physical flame, or it's not the natural flames. Let me go find that. should be like chapter 40 something.
You sent it already. Like you just need to scroll up, right? It's like
Well, yeah,
we can
but
still
I'm trying
see
to
flames-
find added context so we can dictate whether or not it's the natural flames that he
Yeah, but-
would shrink.
We can still see like the flames like on him, right? Oh, you mean if they're the natural ones or not? Yeah, because he can,
Yes,
shrink the
because
natural ones. Yeah,
he can't shrink the natural ones. He can shrink the regular ones.
yeah, that is true.
That's why it was important.
Okay. Yeah, wasn't he burning him with like the unnatural ones, and then like he just transformed because he couldn't like shrink them?
Okay, I get it. He wasn't shrinking the flames originally, he was absorbing them with karma. And then the natural flames come out, and he has to use, like, Isshiki's special ability to shrink them. Amato goes over it.
No, but like even in the image you sent, right, where he's like, I need to fucking like transform whatever, right? We can literally see the flames like on him, right? So he's not shrinking all of them.
Let me post,
So, yeah, like
let
I
me
said, it
post
could be
them back to
the
back.
flames burning it, right?
It's not that he's not shrinking them. It's that his body reaches the limit and he can no longer shrink them, so they overcome him. He's shrinking them, for sure.
No,
And
I'm not
then
saying
his-
he's not shrinking them
And then
at
his
all.
body
I'm saying,
reaches
like,
the limit.
We can literally still see flames like on him and around him, though, right? Meaning he's not shrinking all of them.
Are you talking about by the time it cracks? Whenever the statement is made? Because
Yeah,
that's
literally
whenever
when
the
the
flames
statement is
that's
made.
whenever the flames are rising again. If you look at right before the statement, whenever the crack
I know, but
happens.
that's when- yeah, but look,
if you
that's
look
when
at
he
right
makes the
before the
statement
statement,
you're
when the
using, right?
when the crack happens, right, that leads to the statement, there are no flames surrounding him.
No, but you're referring to this statement here where he's like, his body's reached its limit, right? And he won't last
Yes,
it.
because
There are flames around him.
that statement is because of the crack happening.
Yeah, and I'm saying, okay, look, the crack, right? It can be a power thing, but it can also be like a durability thing as well. Like,
Why
it can
is
be
it
both.
about durability?
Since we can literally see him being burnt here, right? I'm saying it doesn't
But he's
inherently
not
just
being
need to be the
burnt.
power.
He's not being burnt. He's not being burnt when
He
the crack
literally
happens.
was right before this.
No, yes,
Okay,
right
look,
before.
if you sustain like enough damage, right, and then it starts cracking, like it can still be because of that. Like it doesn't need to like crack as he's burning or
Okay,
something.
I'll just I'll give my interpretation,
Okay.
and we can conclude this point.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, so due to the fact that the previous crack happened whenever Jigen chooses to use Isshiki chooses to use too much power in Jigen's body when he's absorbing the Amaterasu. Do you need that scan? They're like that's what caused it.
You can send that anyway,
Okay.
just to make it easier.
Let me get that real quick because I think that is that adds some context that maybe confused you.
Sure. Have you not sent that already?
No, I sent
Oh.
this crack, but the spread before is him absorbing everything. All right. So the first time we see Jigen's stomach cracked is whenever is whenever he's trying to absorbs all the Amaterasu, and then it's stated that due to the power, right, or due to the power he's outputting, Jigen's body can't keep pace, and this crack forms, right? No statement in regards to it being a durability thing, and then Jigen does something similar with the natural flames, having to use this ability, right? Because they are natural flames and not chakra-based flames. He has to use this special ability, and we once again get a statement after all the flames are seemingly extinguished. There's nothing on the panel, right? Except for Jigen's body. We get a plink, and then wait. We get a plink, and then the flames overcome him once again. And it's stated as the flames are surrounding him once again, Jigen's body has reached its limit. So I find it most consistent, based on these two interactions, that this cracking is due to the overwhelming power, and it's shortening the lifespan to such extent where Isshiki feels that he cannot at all use Jigen's body any longer, that it has completely reached its lifespan limit. So I think I've given a pretty consistent interpretation for why this is lifespan and not durability, as Bullet says. So I'll just conclude there.
Okay, yeah. Oh, sorry. Was that your conclusion? Okay, cool. Yeah, then I'll
Yeah.
just give like my conclusion to like what happened to that like segment or whatever. So obviously, like Spencer brought like the whole idea that like but there's like a lifespan thing, right? But we were just trying to like link the lifespan thing with this like orb thing on his chest, right? Where he's like, oh, this body's kind of like not just like depleting, right? But like his body can't handle the power. And I was saying like they don't inherently need to be the exact same thing, right? The lifespan and that. Because like obviously there's a possibility this could just be like a thing kind of like not just regulating his power, right? But obviously like he's using this body as like a vessel, right? So there needs to go obviously like I mean there needs to be something kind of like not necessarily like controlling his power, right? But like because the thing is cracking itself, it seems to be like something external, right? Because like he doesn't have this orb. I mentioned that he doesn't have this orb once he's like fully transformed. And then we kind of went on to like well, what kind of like factors, right, like cause his body to like all of this orb thing to like crack? And then obviously he said he stated directly that it's in reference to like him not being able to handle the power. But I said there's a possibility that like there could be like other factors, right? Like we know like when Kashin Koji does those like flames, right? That like he's unable to like absorb them, right? And he can only like minimize them. But like as he's making the statement where like his body's reached his limit and it won't last any longer, he's like surrounded by fire. So I'm saying like this fire could also like have like helped kind of like his body reach like its limit, right? That can easily also be like a possibility here. And that's literally all I was saying. He was saying, oh well look afterwards, right? He didn't like have these flames around him and then it cracked. I'm saying, well, these flames could have harmed him and then afterwards it could have cracked, right? It doesn't like need to happen, right? It doesn't need to crack as he's like literally like on fire or whatever. So yeah, that's how I'm gonna conclude that point.
Okay. Is there anything we need to go into any further? Do you have like
Yeah,
Isshiki
one,
over
one more
Code
thing,
Skin?
right? Yeah, so remember when like Isshiki does those like rods, right?
The blood
Well, actually,
roads.
before I get onto that, right? I think it might be important to kind of mention that like Code states that like if you fought like Naruto and Sasuke, right? Like together, there would be hardship. Are you aware of that statement?
Yeah, because he thinks Naruto and Sasuke killed Isshiki.
Yeah, but like at the same time, they know how strong they are power-wise, right? Like all
He
the
knows
Karamen.
how strong they are.
Well, like they kind of analyze their bodies. Remember, like when Kashin Koji was mentioning, right? That like, oh, they had to check these like Naruto's body for like the karma, etc. Right? So they've done like research on these people, on like Sasuke and Naruto.
Yes.
They check like Sasuke and Naruto
And
for the karma, etc.
that's fine. Code is still influenced by his idea that Naruto and Sasuke killed Isshiki. I don't even think he has knowledge that they have any help. Let me go look at what Code knows in regards to that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, but all I was gonna say is okay. So like, if there's like hardship, right? With that fight, I don't think like Isshiki like there was any like hardship in, like Ishiki's fight with Naruto and Sasuke. I think he was able to do a rod, right? He was able to fight this rod, if you recall, where like Sasuke stated it was beyond his like actual perception, right? He's like ocular perception, and if that's the case, right, we know like the Sharingan alone is beyond like normal perception. That means it'll be way beyond obviously his like normal combat speed. Meaning, if like Isshiki wanted,
wait, can we just stay on this like whether or not Code knows like about Baryon mode and the like, and like Kawaki and Boruto's intervention?
yeah,
if he,
sure.
If he doesn't know about that and he just thinks, okay, well Naruto and Sasuke are enough to do this on their own, and I would have hardship, but I could kill them. Or like there would be some level of difficulty, but I could kill them, right? Then that would
even
be.
if you could like kill them, right? What I'm trying to establish is like Isshiki is still like beyond them to the degree that like he like blitzes them. Other than Baryon mode, obviously. But I was just argue like Baryon mode is
what
like
I'm trying to say is, if Code just thinks Naruto and Sasuke killed him, no additional power-ups, right? Because unless Ada told him he knows not a Baryon mode. If Code just thinks Naruto and Sasuke killed him without any additional power-ups,
oh, he doesn't need to know about
then
Baryon
he thinks,
mode, that's fine.
Yeah,
Doesn't change
then he
what
just
I'm
thinks
saying.
Naruto and Sasuke are like Isshiki level, and he still thinks he can kill them.
No, but what I'm saying right here is like he saw that like he knows about their fight with like Jigen initially, right?
Why? With Karma 3
Well,
Jigen, why?
Didn't he come back? Didn't he come back like after like beating them or whatever? And then like obviously like fucking he had like the cracks and whatever.
I don't think Code is present. I don't think we see Code whenever he comes back.
When he comes back.
When Jigen comes back from that
Doesn't he
fight.
does he know about like him coming back since like when he comes back, like everybody knows he's back. Like I'm pretty sure like I recall like Kashin Koji knowing that he's returned or some shit. Or was that because he had the frog there or whatever?
Koji and Amato know for sure. Boro
Yeah.
knows for sure because
Yeah.
Boro was sent out on an assignment.
Yeah.
So
That's what I'm trying to say.
I
like,
don't think we see Code whenever Jigen returns.
Okay, I would argue that is kind of like implied that like they do know that he's like returned after his fight with them, right?
We just don't see Code at the hideout. I literally just looked
Like,
at it.
even if you don't, that's fine, right? But what I'm trying to say, this like kind of goes hand in hand with the whole like obviously they kind of like they've checked like their bodies over, etc., and they know how strong they are. Right, that's why
Actually-
they're able to make statements like, "Oh,
Actually,
there's no
Code,
way." Like,
Code wasn't there because he's in the dimension. He's in Kaguya's dimension, guarding the Jubi.
yeah, he was told, but I'm saying like all of these guys were still in like different dimensions when they found out too, though. I don't think that like affects it or changes anything.
No, everyone who knows was at
Yeah.
the hideout or at the village.
Yeah, but isn't that like a completely different dimension, right?
The
No, like,
hideout?
we know. Okay, I mean, like we know, like obviously Isshiki was like on Earth, whatever. Like Boro was like sent out to like
Boro was
other
sent out to
dimension?
guard the
I think
Hokage. Yes.
that was like a completely different dimension. So I feel like these guys were contacted, right?
Because Boro was at the hideout and then gets sent out.
I don't know why they wouldn't contact him if they've contacted all of these other people who are like also inner members.
Where is he? Where is he to contact?
Where's who? Code?
Does their like are you trying to say that like he's using their transmission genjutsu? And if so, does it work interdimensionally?
Well,
Like, I
think
just
it
don't
does work
understand-
interdimensionally, actually. Like, isn't it established that it does?
When?
When they're in like literally different dimensions and stuff. Wait, let me check. I think it
When
is
are-
actually.
When are they in
established.
different dimensions?
I'm pretty sure like were they? Let me double check. Okay, as for Kara, the deepest wish, blah blah blah. What all costs? Well, I assume they like. Why would they be in the same dimension if they're like communicating through like genjutsu and stuff? Like, and why would if they were
'Cause
all
they
at the
can-
hideout? Why would they just not communicate
Okay.
like face to face?
If they weren't all at the hideout. What? Even
Yeah,
when,
like the hideout
even
is
when
like
they're all
literally
in,
in one
okay,
dimension, right?
even
There's
when
like
they're
one
all
dimension
okay,
with literally a
even
fucking
in
hideout.
chapter 16, when they're all in the same dimension, they use transmission genjutsu.
Wait, when's that?
Chapter 16, when they have the meeting in regards to
December.
having lost Kawaki.
Okay, can you send the scan, please?
Yeah. Koji
Okay.
and like, are you trying to say the hideout's in a different dimension? Like, I'm so confused.
Yeah, the hideout is like in this like singular dimension. But it's really like a dimension, and then there's just like one hideout. So it's like if
you're-
you're
you're saying
literally
the
in the
Ka-
same dimension, right?
You're saying the
So, like-
Kara hideout is its own dimension? Or is in a different dimension?
Oh, is that not the case? I'm pretty sure it is, isn't it? Like, isn't like the Kara hideout in like, oh, like the different Kara hideouts on there? Like, how many Kara hideouts?
how does
are there?
Amato get in and out of it? How does Delta get in and out of it? How does Boro get in and out of it?
I have no idea, but I'm pretty sure literally we see the background and it's like another dimension or whatever, right?
Are you talking about the transmission genjutsu or the hideout?
Like the actual hideout, like where they are. Isn't that like another dimension?
We have no evidence to that, to my knowledge, at all. Well, Paz, I sent a link to
Am I
Viz
just
because
being-
it's like the first like 12 pages of this chapter.
Can you just like screenshot it then?
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah.
Like their conversation with the transmission genjutsu, where Koji ends up killing Victor. Like Koji and Victor are in the same dimension.
Well, obviously, then they have to fucking do the transmission thing, right? To meet up with the members who aren't there, right?
But okay, unless you have evidence that they are in, or that the hideout is in a different dimension, right? And that they can transmit the Genjutsu through the dimensions, this fails.
Nice touch up with Kara hideout.
If there's like some anime shit I don't know about where it's like in a different dimension, I'm gonna... I don't know what I'm gonna do. But I'm gonna do something.
Let me see. Blah 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 blah.
This nigga Victor a bitch. Prove I can do something? I just spoke.
Oh, I think it might just be like an anime only thing. I'm not sure then. I can't find like a manga like panel for it. There probably is, but I haven't like gone over it in like ages. Oh, that's fine then. I don't know where that is, and I won't use that. Then that's fine. I mean, like I said earlier, they should have like an understanding of how strong Naruto and Sasuke are anyway, right?
But this understanding can be skewed by false information, such as the idea that Naruto never unlocked Baryon mode and still killed
No, but I'm saying he knew how strong he was. Like obviously when they kind of checked his body for karma, etc. Right?
How did they check his body for karma? By the way, how did they go about that?
Well, how do they go about it, right? They will like scan you over. Like we know, for example, Kashin Koji has like sage mode, and he's able to like sense power and shit, right? So
they scan you.
No, I mean like I'm saying Kashin Koji, like when he states it, right? We know he has like sage mode, etc. Right? And that's why they have like all of this information on like different people, etc. Right? It's like we know in sage mode you can sense like energies and stuff. So
yeah, but
that's objectively the case, right?
Naruto says that, like, wait, Naruto says that there are powers that are immeasurable in Sage mode.
There's powers that are immeasurable. Yeah. Well, we know he's not like an infinite amount stronger than him anyway, right? Because, like, take Kashin Koji himself, right? It's like stated that he's in like the same league of power as Naruto.
Huh? When is that stated?
Like, you know, like you like using the promotional like material and shit, right? It's actually stated that like he's one of the inners that are like relative to like Naruto or like around the same level as him.
I'ma need that one.
You know, I think you might have seen this statement. Like maybe I'm like misremembering it or some shit.
But repeat what you said.
He just said that there's like there's a preview for a manga chapter that says that Koji is one of the inners who's relative to Naruto.
Well, they have similar war potential or some shit, right?
Oh, the war potential shit.
Well, that statement?
No.
But that's in reference to power, is it not?
No,
I can get that for you, Bullet.
Yeah, it's not all in reference to power, because they say Kawaki has the greatest war potential of all of Konoha.
Yeah, potential-wise, right? But that might just be when he's like...
No, and they say it's because of his information on Kara. They say it's because of his information on Kara. This isn't just about power.
Okay, let me see. Well, we know like somebody like blah 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 war potential. Yeah, battle strength analysis, right? So the team
battle strength analysis, key member Kawaki. There aren't very many people who know information about Kara. Now that he's been successful at reconciling with Boruto, he'll have a strong war potential on the front lines? ? Because he has information about Kara.
Wait, blah, blah, blah.
That's the implication.
Looking down upon the it says offensive abilities, right? So wait, where does it say Kawaki's like the fucking strongest or whatever? Where the fuck does it say that?
Where it says key member Kawaki, and then what's under it?
He's a warrior who mobilizes. This might be completely different to it, right?
This
Look,
is the
look,
same. This is
like-
the same light that they put Koji in.
No, because if you look at it, right, like if you look at the actual like the raw scan, they're like separated.
Yes, and then they have their key member. The key member on the Leaf side is Kawaki. The key member on
They never say he's a key member because of his like battle strength. Like where do they say that?
Kawaki's or Koji's.
I'm
'Cause they
talking
say
about like
they say it in
Kawaki.
literally neither.
No, because like I think what you're doing is you're assuming that it's like connected to this Kara part when like it's not. Like if you look at the scan, like it literally like look, Kawaki has his own section like right there.
As does
It almost
Koji. What are you saying? What are you saying, Bullet? I'm so confused. What
No,
are you
I'm
saying?
like, look. When it's referring to Kara, right? The group. I'm not talking about the Kashin Koji key member part. Like,
Okay.
sure, Kashin Koji might be knowledgeable, blah blah blah, but I don't think that's in reference to the battle strength stuff, right? Look, when referring to Kara, it's like, look, their teamwork is practically non-existent, and then says that their battle strength is to be like predicted to be in the same
In
extent.
terms of
where,
individual
like,
war potential, it's predicted to be similar to the extent that the Hokage Naruto was forced to.
yeah. So I'm talking about that section.
And-
I'm not talking about that Kashin Koji or that like
Their
fucking,
war potential is more than their raw power.
What?
Do you not understand that?
No,
Their
but
war
I'm saying,
potential is
look-
greater than their raw power.
Look, when they're referring to war potential, it literally says in like brackets battle strength.
Battle.
You not
oh
see
my
this?
God. Yes, I see that. But
It-
what you're
it's
not
in-
understanding
Wait,
is,
Wait,
Bullet,
hold on.
Bullet-
I don't see that. Where's that at?
it's where it says war potential, battle strength, analysis, right?
It says it in
Oh, okay.
brackets,
That's
so it's
good.
referring to the war potential. being
Yes,
battle
your
strength.
battle strength is also more than your individual power. Boro,
Well, even if you-
Boro,
even if you
wait,
say
time out,
two
time
of
out,
the
time out,
abilities and
time
shit,
out,
right?
time out. Yes, abilities, knowledge, your ability to outsmart your enemy. It's more than just
No,
your
you still
physical
need to-
capabilities
okay,
that
look-
they're talking about.
Dude, even if that's the case, you still need to be able to keep up with the other guy. Because if the other person's like blitzing you, then like all of this knowledge, etc., is like kind of useless, right?
No, it's not. That's shown in Karma Boruto versus base Naruto. Boruto's able to blitz Naruto with a thunderclap arrow, right? But Naruto was a smarter
Sure.
fighter, so he won.
Wait, he could blitz who? Wait, Kawaki could blitz Boruto? Is that what you said?
No, Karma 1 Boruto was able to blitz base Hokage Naruto, right? With a
Wait, we don't even
thunderclap
know-
arrow.
Look, dude, we don't even know if that was like full power base Naruto anyway, right?
It still stands. It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. How does
Bullet.
that stand? That's,
Okay,
it's a really weird
because
thing
what
to
I'm
use.
trying to communicate to you is that your battle strength involves your
Yeah.
battle IQ. Naruto did not outspeed Boruto in this section. Boruto outsped Naruto no matter how much Naruto's holding back. How
So you-
Naruto
you-
won wait, how Naruto won the fight? How Naruto won the fight was by using his big brain that is bigger than Boruto's.
Okay, look, if he was like an actual blitz level like above him, then none of it would matter, right? It's like no matter what he does, right, he would just like literally get blitzed. Unless like unless you're saying Kashin Koji has some sort of ability where like it completely like negates like
It's
No,
fine
just, like,
for him to not
conventional
get
stat play.
blitzed. It's fine for him to not get blitzed. But anyways, what
But that's the whole
bearing?
idea, right?
What
It's-
bearing does this have on the debate? At all?
wait, I think this is brought up because we're talking about like I don't even think this has any like relevance to what we're talking about anyway, if I'm
Okay.
being honest. I don't know why we went like onto this. I think like we just started talking about the scan and then like started debating it, whatever. But yeah, like to go back to the original point, like what were we saying? Yeah, we were talking about like if Code like would how strong like Code would think like Naruto and Sasuke
What
are. And I was
knowledge
talking
does
about them,
what
like-
knowledge does Code have on Baryon mode?
No, he doesn't need to have like knowledge in Borean mode. He could just like think like
Okay, so he just thinks
it's not
Naruto and
Naruto?
Sasuke are that strong.
yeah, he might. Well, he doesn't know how they were beat. He's not like assuming they like physically like beat him or anything, right? I'm saying he might have been told how strong they are already anyway. Right? We were talking about like Ikara members, like oh how strong they are.
already
Like
refuted
they
that.
analyzed
Bullet.
Naruto and Sasuke. I think that's why I said prior.
Bullet,
so
I've
that's why I'm
already
using it.
refuted that.
Wait, how did you refute that?
I said that it's fine if he has prior information. This new information can skew his assessment of their ability.
Okay, well, do you have like if he has like no knowledge on what happened, like why would he like use that as like a fucking? Why would he use that as a basis? I suppose.
If he has no, all he knows is that like his nigga got murked. That's what he knows.
No, but it could like he knows that he was like he had like a low lifespan, etc. Right?
Does
So
he
why
know
would
that?
he?
Does
Why
he?
would he? Well, literally, I think doesn't everyone know it at the time? Like, he isn't that the whole idea that like he's looking for a new vessel because like his body is dying or whatever.
We know
Isn't that, like,
Amato.
really-
Wait, we know Amato knows. We don't know if the other car members know.
Well, we know Kashin Koji knows. We know. Well, like,
Well,
wouldn't
Kashi
Code be
Koji
the-
knows
why-
because Amato knows.
Isn't the whole idea that like Code's meant to be like his next vessel, right? And that's the
No.
reason he needs him. He must know that he's like
No.
not necessarily
Code-
dying. His life's
Code
running out.
cannot be Ishiki's vessel.
Oh yeah, he was like imperfect or something. But he knows about the whole vessel like stuff, right?
Yes, he knows
He
about
knows
it.
that
But
he
why
needs
does
Kawaki, right?
no,
So
why
he
does
knows
he
that,
know?
like,
Yes,
he's
but
dying.
why does he know to such extent that he knows that Isshiki has a time limit, or even knows
What,
that
has a
Jigen has a
time
time
limit?
limit?
Okay, no, even look, you said right. So wait, are you saying he knows that Jigen has a time?
No.
So wait, what did you just say right there then?
I asked you, why does he know that Jigen and Isshiki have time limits on their lifespan?
On their lifespan? I think I gave my reasoning to that. I was like, obviously he knows like he's a vessel and stuff, right? And the whole idea was like, since he needs a vessel, like he knows he's like dying, so like there's obviously like other elements.
No,
to it.
no, no,
It
no,
doesn't
no, no,
necessarily
no.
have
That is a
power.
huge leap in logic, Bullet.
Okay.
Because he knows he needs a vessel, he knows that he's dying. That is a huge leap in logic. Now, it is stated pretty
Wait, hold up,
clearly.
hold up.
Well, wait, it's stated pretty clearly and nonchalantly that Jigen is an improper vessel. But why does Code draw the conclusion from there that that means Jigen will die if Isshiki transforms into him?
Wait, I didn't hear what you said, but wait, let me just find this. I think there's like a scan for this. Hold up. Oh wait, where's the hardship scan, by the way?
It should be chapter 57.
57. Let me see if I can get that up.
I know what it is. It's fine. Are you looking for like the wording?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm already on 57. I'll get it for you.
Okay, cool. But the whole idea of like horror is like to kind of be contending with Naruto and stuff. So it's like I don't know why they wouldn't know his power. Like,
But I did predict that you would come visit me. Call it female intuition. Really,
Let
I'm
me see.
flattered. How to release the
Wait,
power
right.
limiters and how to release the power limiters implanted. It's posting. Isn't that what you want to know? You really are all knowing. Yep. In order to kill Hokage and Uchiha, I could probably do it as I am, but I want to spare myself unnecessary hardship. Any amount of further difficulty would be unnecessary hardship.
I know, but like what I would just argue is like Isshiki wouldn't need any like hardship at all, right? Is this what you're using, right?
If he thinks Isshiki got killed by Naruto and Sasuke,
Yeah.
he has no he has no known knowledge on this time limit, right?
But how do you know how strong like Isshiki is anyway, right? Like he would know how strong Naruto and Sasuke are, like because like obviously it's like predicted they have like a similar war potential, blah blah blah, right? And Code himself doesn't have any like hacks abilities, right?
Except for his zippers.
Obviously, then like he would think like not only is he like a certain level, but he would be like told like how strong they are. I mean, like Amado kind of like not only designed a lot, right? Like especially like with Delta to like contend with Naruto and stuff. But
Are
like
you
obviously,
asking me?
there was, like,
Are
a
you
lot of
asking me
research
now?
into that.
Why does he know how strong Naruto and Sasuke are?
No, oh yeah, we're going with that's what this
You
like
gave
all
me
this
you
section is
gave
about,
me an
right?
argument for that. You literally handed me an argument for that wrapped in a bow.
Yeah, like I literally talked about like this the whole like not just like them analyzing them and stuff, right? but the whole like them like thinking like being like the same kind of like war potential, etc. Right? Like the whole point of these Kara members are to like kind of contend with Naruto. So it's like it'd be weird if they didn't know how strong Naruto was. Like why
is that their whole point is to resurrect Isshiki?
No, but like these Kara members, like Boro, for example, like
I hope you know that unless Victor had like, if Victor hadn't fucked up the blimp and gotten it dropped, they never would have seen Naruto before Isshiki was fully resurrected, ever.
No, but the idea is, I'm not going to argue that they're like exactly like the same level as Naruto Weber, right? But it's like you have to have an idea of how strong Naruto is, right?
Well, it's a prediction. Are you stating
exactly?
Are you stating that? Wait, are you stating that this image is like predicted from Kara's knowledge? That like this battle strength analysis
is like who else would be predicting their powers? Like
who else? V-Jump writers.
Well, even the V-Jump writers, from their perspective. But I thought the whole idea was like, oh look, their team versus their team, right? And they're trying to get like intel on each other. That's the whole idea. This whole like, that's why Kawaki being like this person with like a lot of like intel on them was like this big deal.
Let's go back to exactly what amount of knowledge the V-Jump writers would have on the series, because we do get a date. They say this is gonna start on 7/20, or what they say. Which releases on 7/20. And unless it's June 20th of this year, which it is most definitely not, because Jigen is still a factor, it would be June 20th of last year. Or July 20th.
Wait, why is this relevant? The date?
This doesn't even make sense. It's not July 20th, or they would have involved Isshiki. This is July 20th, 2019.
I mean, Isshiki might have been revealed already. Wait, let's see. What's the date? Wait, where does it say the date?
At the very bottom.
Oh, I see what you mean. Was Isshiki like revealed by then?
No, he wasn't. Which is why it doesn't make sense for them. This is in the Kawaki arc. This is knowledge pertaining up to, if I'm being generous, chapter 36.
Oh no, that's fine, but I'm saying like they still have to have like a general idea of how strong Naruto was even then anyway, right?
They would only know based off of the Delta fight.
You could say, yeah, based off the Delta fight, right? But even like prior, like they were still like analyzing them, and afterwards as well. Like,
how did they analyze Sasuke? How in the fuck did they analyze Sasuke? Did they ever see him? Did they ever see that nigga Sasuke? No.
Oh, no, but they literally stated that like analyzed them, right? Hence they had to check them for like the marks and stuff. So like we know like this characters like Code, right? Who have like
It stated that they analyzed both Naruto and Sasuke.
I think so. Well, definitely Naruto. Like
I agree. They probably analyzed Sasuke. That's fine.
Like arrived, right? And they were like, oh, I've already checked them over, right? They don't have the. So I think it goes like hand in hand that they have kind of like checked them out, and we know like somebody
Naruto,
like
yes.
Koji has like Sage mode, and
unless you have some evidence that Koji has seen Sasuke and opened up Sage mode. Or...
Yeah, I remember why we brought this scan up now, because like you were trying to say, well, what if he's like an infinite amount like stronger, or like an immeasurable amount stronger than him, or whatever. But then like I was just trying to say, well, them even being considered like the same war potential, whatever, means like he's not like an infinite amount like above him, right?
But I literally disregarded that.
He would be able to sense him, right? Like
I disregarded that.
Wait, why did he?
I told you why that doesn't have to be the case.
What part exactly?
That their war potential or their battle or like their stats are relative, right? Because I went into war potential being more than just your like ability to fight.
Yeah, but it's not gonna make up for like an infinite difference, right?
Damon's could. What the fuck? Let's show characters that could, right?
Like
Boro.
Amount
Let's go into Boro, right? If Sasuke fought Boro, he would get fucked. You want to know why? Because Sasuke has to fight hand to hand with Boro. His fighting style is not these massive jutsu like Naruto, right? So he goes in for taijutsu, gets hit with poison, and he's dead.
Well,
So Boro
wait,
has
why is
greater
it
war
relevant?
potential than Sasuke.
No, but he's not like an infinite amount like fucking beyond him though, right? He would still be like
Boro would blitz the
relative to
shit.
anyone.
Boro would get blitzed to hell. Literally get fucking crumpled.
No, but that doesn't mean he's like an infinite amount above him though. Like if Sasuke was so much like he was like an infinite amount stronger and like faster than him, right? It's not like Boro's abilities are like passive.
Why are you
right?
going infinite amount stronger? I just said that there are things that are immeasurable in Sage Mode.
Yeah, like, yeah. Your whole point was like they're immeasurable, right? Oh, well,
Yes.
I suppose it depends on what you mean by immeasurable.
Don't use immeasurable like they use it in fucking speed tiering or some shit like that. No, it's
Okay,
just
well,
stated.
what do you
It's
mean
just
by that?
stated Naruto can't measure the Sage energy of the Jubi.
Why
It's
is that, though?
immeasurable.
But did he ever state why though? Why was that the case?
Kurama said if you try and measure it, you'll just see that its power is immeasurable.
Well, that's a little bit vague then. Like we don't know what they mean by. I don't know if you can do that.
Let me show
Like
you.
establish like a definition for it, and then like why that
That
would
it,
be the
it
case.
can't be measured.
610.
610.
Also, right, like wasn't that in reference to like his because like it's like established
Yes.
potential like all of nature energy or some shit.
Yes.
But that doesn't like relate to like his chakra or like how strong it would be anyway, right? So it's like you don't really need to know like someone's like how their nature energy necessarily to know how strong they are, right? Like people like even like you know
Well,
like
yes you could. Yes you could.
you know
If
like
they're perfect
Shikamaru's
sage,
dad
you
wasn't
absolutely
it all
could.
like the fucking Jubi like was like powerful? It had like planet levels of like chakra or something. Or it was like chakra resembled like a planet because it was like so dense or some shit.
Yeah,
like
it resembles a
essentially
small star.
chakra.
Yeah.
yeah, or some shit like that. Yeah, so they can like base it off like chakra, but I don't know like if basing some of his power based off like their nature energy is like inherently tells you how strong they are anyway. Obviously Naruto has like a certain amount of chakra,
Okay,
right?
for
I don't think
sages,
Naruto has like an
for sages, it
Yeah.
most definitely does because it has to be measured in a specific. It has to be measured in a 1-to-1 ratio, 1-to-1 with stamina and mental energy. It's
stamina
directly
and mental
shown.
energy.
Yeah, it's directly
Wait,
shown
you
in the
mean
case.
sage energy? Or are you talking about like chakra?
You have sage energy, stamina, mental energy. You have to mold them 1-to-1 to be a perfect sage. That's what sage mode is.
Like, yeah, nature energy is like different to like just like chakra generally, right? And like when he refers
Yes.
to like
But
yeah,
what I
when he
was trying to
starts
say
refer
is
like, strength,
what I was trying
or,
to
like,
say
getting
is that
weaker or stronger,
Shikaku
they, like,
that Shikaku
they're
shit
related
is
to chakra.
super inconsistent because Kurama directly states that it doesn't have any chakra and Naruto can't sense any chakra off of it.
Wait, repeat that. Sorry, my bad. I wasn't listening.
Okay. Basically, Kurama states
Yeah.
a little bit earlier, and Naruto's both state that they can't sense its chakra. Naruto says the statue's evil chakra disappeared, right? And he says he doesn't have those kind of emotions or feelings. He can't be sensed. He's natural energy itself.
Yeah, he's nature energy himself. I don't think
Yeah,
it's
they
like
just they retcon
clearly
the
makes
shit
it
out of it having chakra. It has none.
well, you just see how immeasurable it is. So yeah, like what I'm saying is like, what does he mean by immeasurable?
That it can't be measured.
Well, we know it can't be measured, but what is it like? What kind of amount is it? Is it like an amount? Is it a finite amount?
It's an amount that Naruto can't measure. That's all we know.
Alright, so it may just be infinite then, right?
Possibly, sure.
Yeah. So what I'm saying here, right? Like when like obviously like Hashin Koji is able to like whatever like scan Naruto, right? Or like sense his chakra or whatever, right? Like he could just be like if there's not like an infinite like difference between them, or whatever, he should still be able to like sense his power, right? It could just be an infinite amount here. That's why he can't sense it. But like in relation to Naruto, it's just not in like the
Okay.
difference between them, or whatever.
Bullet, I don't think you understand. That's not good for you, because then you
Wait,
have to
why is it
prove.
not good?
Then you have to prove that Naruto's nature energy, right, and Naruto's chakra is something that can be measured and sensed at its whole by Kashin Koji.
No, but like this is why I brought up the rest of Kara and stuff, and like talked about like how these characters stuff, right? For example, like that's one of the main reasons why like Delta can contend with Naruto, and he stated that Naruto needed like his full like ability, right, to contend with her, right? Obviously not like obviously not like fucking he didn't have like the Kurama's fucking what do you call it, avatar and stuff, right? we still had to go all out regardless of that. Like all that stuff, like taijutsu wise, like Rasengan wise, right? Obviously, he did have like his arsenal was slightly limited, but he was still going all out. So obviously, like based off that fight, right? And then like the whole scanning thing kind of works hand in hand with that, I think.
It doesn't, and I'm gonna just dictate as to why, right?
Okay.
Okay, so
Why-
just because one person of a group has war potential based on their physical stats, right, in their region, doesn't mean that the entire group automatically gets their war potential based off of their like fighting and combat abilities.
No, but I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about the whole like Delta stuff and like Delta contending with him, right? Because like Naruto still needed like his full power to like fight her.
Yeah, and
So like not just based off that, like they know like how strong he is, right? But I'm saying it goes hand in hand with the whole sensing thing, right? Because it's like obviously they need to like analyze like Naruto's power stuff, right? Like if he was when he was fighting like fucking Delta, right?
wait, I don't think you understand.
The
Delta
if,
fight-
look, if Kashin Koji wasn't able to like fucking like measure how strong they are, he wouldn't think he can beat characters like Delta and like he would actually state like he's not like capable of like sensing them. But he seemed completely fine
That's
when like
an
he was like
argument from
detecting them.
silence.
No, okay, look. When he was like watching them fight and stuff, right? Not only was he like confident that like he could take like Delta or whatever, right? He was kind of like able to like keep up and like see like not only like what was happening, right? But like he kind of went on to like fight Isshiki and stuff as well. Like so I don't think it's like I don't think it's impossible that like he's like an immeasurable below him or some shit in like power and like chakra or whatever.
I'm just gonna
Is the one-
refute that, and then we can conclude the debate.
Okay, we
Unless
can
there's
conclude this
anything
one.
else you want to do.
What else do I want to do? Let me see. Let me think. Is there any other arguments? I think the main one was obviously that like with the limiters, all the limiter stuff, right? And why like Code needed the limiters.
So,
But I think we
can
already
I,
like concluded that.
Can I just like
then
yeah?
I'll
We
do-
concluded
wait,
each
do you-
point, so we can
Okay,
just.
okay. So
Can I
look,
please
if we're gonna
wait?
conclude this
Bullet.
Yeah.
Let me refute it. What you just
Sure.
said, because you said a lot. While it's still on my mind, the important points, I'm going to refute them, and then we can discuss anything further. Okay. So, basically, Bullet tries to, like, say that this war potential and this idea, right, means that Koji has a similar war potential and can fully sense Naruto's, like, chakra and his ability. The issue with this is, we don't know by what means Koji was able to sense, or by what means Koji was able to, believed he could take down Delta. We also don't know in what form Koji is sensing the fight. So we don't know what Koji's like perception of this is. He could just be watching the fight because we have no idea whether he's in sage mode or whatever, right? So we just have to remain agnostic to this idea that Koji can sense Naruto and therefore has this great perception of them. So and then there's also just not evidence that Koji relays this to the others.
All right, that's
There's
fine.
no
Can I-
evidence
can
that,
I
like,
conclude? Or
There's
like
do you have evidence that like Code and Goro?
you added like a few extra things I didn't
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
you mention earlier. Like, do I
No,
disregard them?
I wasn't concluding. I was just refuting your point.
Oh, you were just
We
refuting
can
my
we
point.
can go
Okay.
on to conclude later because you seem to have some contention with concluding the point right there.
Yeah, like I was never really using the whole like Kashin Koji thing as like oh, he passed the information on. I'm saying these like characters were capable. I mean, that makes sense.
We're capable.
But yeah,
of what?
no, like you were trying to make it seem as if like I was basing it like purely off like oh Kashin Koji like could sense them right, and then like he kind of like told them how strong he was like after this fight or some shit with that Delta. Well, I relayed it onto them. Well, I'm not using that like.
So then, what effect does this have on Code if you're not saying that he relays?
Oh no, what I'm trying to say is obviously like there's characters that like in Kara who can obviously like sense him like Kashin Koji, right? But then it mainly went to the whole idea that like they obviously saw that fight with Delta, right? And like Naruto did need like his full power, like other than like obviously the Avatar and stuff, right? To like contend with like her. Like for example, like Taijutsu
Other
wise
than
and,
the
like,
Avatar and most of his ninjutsu.
You could say no. Well, he was still using like his large Rasengans and shit, right?
He only used jutsu in tactical moments where he knew he could hit Delta and she couldn't absorb them.
I think it was actually like stated that he needed like his full power to take her on anyway. Like how much stronger does like the Kurama avatar even? Like
I'm not talking about the Avatar. I personally am of the belief that the Avatar and the Susanoo are slower than Naruto and Sasuke. So I don't think the Avatar would have done him any good.
So you're just talking about other ninjutsu then,
Yeah.
right? But then there's like a lot of like ninjutsu that are like just hacks based, right? And that might be what might make them like a threat or some shit.
To Delta, but they may be too slow
So
for
we
him
were
to
just
use.
like kind of like measuring. We were just like measuring like, for example, like their attack potency, like shit
Their
like that. Not
physical
necessarily,
capability.
yeah, their physical capabilities per se,
Okay.
right?
Is there
So
anything
I'm
else you
saying,
wanted
like,
to add to the
right?
point? Sorry.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. I was just using that. Like, if you're just talking about like physical capabilities, AP or whatever, right? Yeah, like he didn't need his like full power against like Delta, and I was like, obviously, like there was a lot of like androids, whatever, right?
You said he didn't
No,
need
it's not androids.
he
Sorry,
didn't need his full
cyborgs,
power
my
against
bad.
Delta?
They're cyborgs, my bad. But like these cyborgs, like obviously, like a lot of them, they're not just like be stronger than Naruto, but obviously like we literally saw like Delta like contend with this Naruto. And so what I'm saying is, I think they have a good idea of how. If I'm being honest, and if this is going back to my point, where I was going with this is okay. We can leave that other like stuff right to judgment. That's fine. But where I was going with this right is if they know how if like Code knows how strong Naruto and Sasuke are, right, and he's making this statement that like there'll be hardship, right? I'm trying to say, I don't think he could like blitz both of them. Whereas like I think Isshiki could blitz Naruto and Sasuke.
Okay. Okay.
That's
After
kind of
this,
wild,
I
but-
would please ask that we go to conclusions. What evidence do we have that Code has knowledge on the Delta fight outside of Delta lost to Naruto?
Oh no, I was using that mainly, if I'm being honest.
Okay, so
But I was
all he
saying you
knows,
should have a good idea
all
of
he
how
knows
strong
is
he
Delta
is
lost to
based on that.
Naruto.
Yeah,
That's
like
it?
physically. So like, and they were contending physically, like
Does
well
he
until,
know
like,
that they only contended physically for the most part?
No, but like the thing is, right, with this fight, like if you take a look at like Delta's like abilities and stuff, like she's mainly like an AP, right?
Yeah, but
So like
we're
if she was,
talking
like,
about
he was shooting
his
at
knowledge
Naruto-
on Naruto, right?
Yeah.
So how Delta fights is irrelevant because if Naruto's
Like literally, do you know who was back at the base?
Bullet, please let me
Yeah.
speak. If Delta is an exclusively CQC fighter, right? With the exception of her laser beams and any ninjutsu she may absorb. For all Code knows, Naruto could have smacked her with one Rasengan, sent her into fucking space, and then the little droid could have come back. We don't have any evidence of what he knows of the Delta fight.
No, okay. Look, I was arguing prior anyway, right? That like a lot of these characters were kind of not even like designed to like fight Naruto, but they can, right? And then the whole idea here with like what you're saying, right, is that you're obviously trying to argue like he didn't know, like he was literally back at the base, if I recall right, after like she lost, and he was like mocking her for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like assume that like he obviously like if he thinks he can beat Naruto, right? Because like literally right after that, he's like, oh, it would just to either me, to like me or Boro. I think he states right.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that like I think he understands that like not just that he's stronger than like her, right? But like he understood what happened during the fight. I think he's like
Why?
implied that like
Why? How is that
he
implied?
wouldn't have made that. I don't think he would have made that statement otherwise. Then
Well, there are
'Cause, like,
three.
he's
There
not
are
base,
three
right? And he's
inners
mainly-
left. Wait, there are three inners left who have capabilities, right? We have Jigen, who doesn't really get off. He's fucking Thanos throughout most of like, or he's Thanos in the Avengers. He just sends niggas out, right? Jigen is not there scrapping usually, right?
Oh,
So
also
then-
wait, one other thing, right?
Wait,
all of this might not
please
even
let me
matter.
respond to your arguments.
Okay, yeah. Go on.
And then we have Boro and Code. Boro and
Okay.
Code are the two remaining enforcers who get off their ass, right? So, he's saying you lost, it's going to me or Boro. Because they're the only choices. It doesn't have to imply, oh, I knew what happened in the fight, and therefore I know that I'm a better matchup for the Hokage, or Boro's a better matchup for the Hokage.
But he was kind of mocking her power. It seemed to be like in relation to like this whole like this power struggle like between them, right? And them fighting. Since he was like talking about like how he would have performed better in that same scenario. And also, like, isn't it like stated that like obviously if Delta like had the same like war potential as well, she was like in a like depicting next to it, right? It's not like she was really smart or like had like a lot of hacks could take them out, right? Or take him out anyway, right? So that would kind of imply that like if they were like if she was in the same kind of league as Naruto, it would have to just be like power wise. And also, wait, hold up, like even if he, actually, yeah, Karen, sorry, you can refute that if you want. I forgot what the last part.
I don't think it needs a refutation. I think my previous statements in regards to like the power of the inners and what their war potentials are all about kind of gives us everything we need on that. But
Okay, I thought I did a good job there too. Do you want to like conclude that part then?
is there anything else we need to cover in the debate?
Okay, but like if that point did go through, right? Did I mention like what I was gonna that like the whole Oh, I think Isshiki could like blitz Naruto and like Sasuke with like attacks, right? Whereas like Code couldn't. If we like still
Why
handle
can't
that.
Code?
Sorry, what?
Why can't Code do that?
Oh, because I was saying like Code said like if you fought both of them, there would be like hardship, right? And we talked for about that for a while, and it kind of led to all of this, right? So I'm saying like if we like still land all of that stuff, right? Obviously that stuff has gone to judgment. Then like what I would say is okay, if he has like hardship, right? I don't think Isshiki would have hardship, right? Because I talked about how like his rods, right, would be on Sasuke's perception, right?
Yeah, the Code statement of having hardship is after he has knowledge that Isshiki didn't just blitz and murder all of them.
No, we talked about all of this stuff already though. That's why I said like that stuff went to judgment, right? Like if he had knowledge on like Naruto.
I think you're extrapolating on
Right.
a further point, which gives me like a ground to refute your extrapolation.
No, like we've already talked about like how much knowledge he has on like Naruto and Sasuke, right? And we left that to judgment. And what I'm saying is like, if he did have a knowledge, right? And then he thought there would be hardship. I don't think there would have been hardship with that Isshiki, right? Because I think Isshiki could have like blitzed them.
Okay, well,
Like,
I think it would just be an implication by what I said before, even if I don't say it here, that Code's knowledge would entail that Isshiki can't do that. So, I think we're fine to conclude.
Wait, what do you mean
do
Isshiki? Wait, sorry, he would think Isshiki can't do that?
Because if Isshiki could do that, they would be dead.
No, I don't necessarily think that's the case, right? Because like Sasuke says at the end of a fight, right, that they were extremely lucky. So it's like, of course, like if he has an attack, right, that could like just blitz them, which he did display, right? Because Sasuke couldn't even fucking see it, right? At one point, that kind of implies that the whole like luck element was a thing. So perhaps like Isshiki wasn't thinking straight, and then if that's the case, then
Does Code have knowledge of the luck?
luck is contradicted.
Does
Sorry,
Code have
what?
knowledge of this luck?
So Code doesn't have to have like knowledge on this. What I'm saying is like
You're trying to internally critique Code's statements. If you do not display that Code has bullet. If you do not display that Code has knowledge on this luck, then Code would not take it into account.
Dude, I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is like Code thought there would be hardship, right? With his fight, like with Naruto and Sasuke, right? And then like with Isshiki, I don't think if Isshiki was actually like using these rods from like the beginning, right? Against like Naruto and Sasuke, I don't think there would have been any hardship. Since like if you're literally fast enough, right?
I think I refuted this. You think you've displayed it. I think I've refuted it. Can we please move on?
Yeah, but like what I'm saying with this point, I'm just gonna quickly like finish this, right? Is like it's beyond his like ocular perception, which is beyond his normal combat speed, right? So if his rods are that fast, then he could have just like straight up killed Naruto and Sasuke with them like at the beginning. So I think they got lucky, literally like Sasuke stated. But yeah, we can move to conclusions, or we can just finish it if you want. I don't mind.
We can just finish.
I think the main stuff was obviously the whole like
Conclude.
why was Code restricted.
Do you want us to conclude? Do you want conclusion 6?
Yes, that's why I said conclude.
Okay. So I started first. I'll conclude first. I think I handily won every point of offense that Bullet tried to display by just saying, does Code have knowledge of this, right? Because if Code doesn't have knowledge of these things that contradict his worldview, right, then he just thinks Naruto and Sasuke are Isshiki level. And then he thinks he can beat these Isshiki level threats. So we just get code over Isshiki. It's really simple. Okay. I think I don't think I need to conclude with anything beyond that. All of my other conclusions are in the debate on each specific point. So I'll just leave it there.
Okay. So is it my turn now? Okay, yeah. So like pretty much the main stuff we were talking about was like he said like Spencer just said there, right, that every point would have been reviewed on like Code's knowledge. That's not true, right? Because like the point we were talking about right at the beginning, like why was like the limiters placed on Code, right? That was based off like Isshiki's knowledge, right? And we kind of went over like why they were placed on him. And obviously, like Spencer was saying that like it could be like I would have to quantify that, and there was like a mix between like it could be a mix between like power and like Ko's devotion and stuff. But I think I gave a better interpretation on that, right? I was talking about how like his devotion wasn't really an element, right? Because if he wasn't like at all, then like there would be no need. Like if he had so much devotion to him, there would kind of like there'll be no need to like have like these limiters on him, right? That restrict his power, and like it would kind of like it wouldn't even make sense, right? Since like if he was really just like this loyal person, right, who's like completely devoted to him, like worshipped him, etc., right, and that Isshiki actually like fucking believed that, right, then it would actually make sense for him to like obviously like have like an even stronger like person right on his team, right, who obviously is devoted to him yet stronger than him. So that's why I said I don't think that the whole like devotion thing is like a relevant factor into this, right? And obviously like in the actual like scan he provided, right, they said the element or the main factor was actually strength. They just say strength alone, so I was just basing it off that. I think that's what the main argument is, right? And then we talked about other kind of like methods of scaling, right? Like just right now we talked about the whole like how much knowledge does that Code have? Because I was using the whole like, okay, look, Code obviously makes the statement that there will be hardship in his fight with Naruto, Sasuke, right? So it's like, does he know how strong Naruto, Sasuke are? Spencer are like he might not know. He might not actually know how strong they are, right? Whereas I argue that like I think he has like a good idea, and so do like Bakara or like inner members, right? Based off like the Delta fight, right? And like all of these other kind of like statements I brought up, that the whole like promotional like fucking what's it, promotional guidebook or whatever statement, can't remember what the fuck it's called, right? Well, that, yeah, the promotional material and all of that stuff, obviously like we couldn't agree, so we just like left that to like judgment. But what my main point there was obviously like Delta, like based on the whole like Delta fight, them going all out, obviously there's like characters who can sense their powers, who can like scan them, check them over. So I was arguing that is kind of that would be the case. And wait, is that everything? Have I gone over everything? What else do we talk about? I don't want to miss anything. I think that was everything. Well, yeah, but what I was gonna say is, yeah, like where that point was going was that like I'll talk about the whole like perception thing as well. Like if he's like perception blitzing Sasuke and stuff, right? I would think that like there'll be no hardship with like him and Naruto, right? Like Isshiki fighting like Naruto and Sasuke, right? Because he would just like since they're both relative, there'd be perception blitz like both of them. Whereas like Code obviously said there would be hardship, meaning like it's likely he can't do that. And yeah, that's how.